Hey, it's Longridr and welcome. Today we're going to be starting a new series, a fun series, on creating a Lucky Block dragon. And would you guess it? It's from Lucky Block addon. So it's going to be a beginning to the end thing where I work in Blockbench, make the model, do some textures, and then from there, I think we'll probably make that this video, and then in future videos, we'll combine the different aspects, like then animations, then sounds, then all that. I've done it before, and hopefully it ends up good this time as well. And dragons, can't go wrong with a dragon. So I'm just gonna get right into it, get straight to modeling. We're gonna go bedrock entity, create a model. File name, so underscore, undercase, lucky block, dragon. Multi-identifier, lucky block, dragon. That's the working title for now. I'll leave it at box UV. Might as well. And what I like to do, add a bone, call it root. Add another bone inside the root bone and call it lucky block dragon. There we go. And then might as well do this now, but I'll do a reference. So then inside reference, I could do things like this, where I make a block that's 8. We're gonna just do it this way. Go 8 by 8. Okay, 6, 8, 8, and then up 8. Cool. Move this off to the edge for now so I can see the sizing. Awesome. And now I don't know what size I want to do right now. It's always something that kind of comes. So let's do a... I also got to think of what type of dragon I want to do. So that's going to be something. I have a funny little mock-up idea. Let's see if I can drag it on over to the screen. We have this thing right here. It's a blocky block version. And there's this thing, the kind of build I want to go for. So 4 legs, wings, a tail, and a head thing. Yeah, as you can see, if I could get a bigger view of them without needing to like click on them. There you go. Just ignore my face cam for now. Okay, here we go. There you go. Zoom in. Cool. And now I'm going to try to drag these to the background to create like a little canvas thingy. So that way I could look and see what the legs and stuff are, I guess. What I'll do first, create a basis. So I'll go up. So this is a block. And I'm guessing we don't want to go past like 8 blocks length. So I want to put a kind of limit for now. Just an idea in mind of 8 blocks. And this can change. I don't want to go too over the top, you know. Alright, there's size for scale. Zoom in a little bit. Take this. What if we do 8 by 8s? There's a normal block. And the body I feel like should be 2 blocks, or at least the chest area. Maybe 2 blocks wide, a bit up. There we go. There's the thick part of it. The part where it's super worked out, you know. Don't skip chest day. I know I don't, sometimes. And then we'll, from there, kind of sculpt how we want it to look. Going across the body, starting from there. And now we have like the main portion of it here as well. So to build on this, go like that. Now it's a worm, but that's fine. Worms grow into beautiful butterflies or something like that. I mean, caterpillars, worms, same thing. Not really, but they both eat grass. Dragon, we're going to just start building the tail a little bit. And the tail, I feel like, is the one part of it I don't really consider as part of the height or the lengthwise distribution, because this part, yeah, it can change and vary as we go. So not too worried about the size going past. But this side, take down a little bit, and it's going to be the start of the neck, probably. We'll take it like that. Actually, let's do this so it's even. Now, what I could do is initially drag it out this way and then rotate it up that way. Just make sure I have enough room to do that. Or I could do it initially. Sometimes the best way for me to build things would be in T-pose. So I could definitely try to do that to begin with. Just kind of sculpt it out as I see. And then like the tail, the size will vary. So it's not going to fully make things different all too much. I just want to make sure I have room to add things if needed. All right. I think a long and skinny neck would be going pretty far here. Adding that, and then we get to the head part. So we'll go a bit out like that, bit up, to sculpt like the back of the head thingy, and then take this down. Now, being a block type model, I want to keep it with the dragon kind of feel. So if we look at this beautiful little thingamabobber, terrible little paint drawing, I'm going to try and get it so that way it feels, I don't know how to explain it, like early T-Rexy? I don't know. So I'll make it kind of chonky up front until I decide I don't like it, which I'm probably doing as we speak. But there's a couple stipulations to this. I have to make it in a way to where it can fit inside of a block, because I want this thing to pop out of a block like a genie. So I have to really make sure I have all my bases covered and that it can do that just fine. And I think my normal setup for bones and how I'll do them will make a lot of sense, which actually right now would be a good time to start doing that. We'll start from the base of the neck. This will be neck start. And then these, and since it's going to be very curvy, we'll go neck 2, just to think of something, and then neck 3, neck 4, and these will be the start of the head. And now for all the pivots, I try to keep them semi-make sensing. Let's go like this. Put it about where the spine would be. Yeah, go with that. And now I don't know eye-wise what I want to do, but I'm one for adding a little bit of realism though to my things. So maybe a little bit of a curve in the front just to give it some character. Take this. This will be the start of the bottom jaw. So I'll create a new group so that way I can animate the bottom jaw like that. And then take the pivot tool, go like this, and then as you rotate it in animations, it looks like a jaw. Haha, it's already talking. So we'll go up a bit, and then we gotta create a way for it to connect with the rest of the stuff. So we'll just take that. I could make it wide as well. Yeah, that seems like it could work. Like that. And then up here, go wider out, probably. Alright. And this was going to be an eye, but I'm not sure how much of a fan I am of cartoony looking eyes. Now either I could go like this, Control D to duplicate, then flip, so that way, see the eyes. But now it just looks like a dog. I'm going to forego the eye things. I'll turn it into something else. So what this could be is just a top eye bone, probably. Like that. So you'd have the eye there and it would look angry. Would that work? Then we'll go like this and have some spiky little thingies going off at an angle. The first angled part on here usually helps a bit. Center it. Rotate at 45 degrees, but we want to stay fairly close to vanilla as I make things, because that's a lot of our goals when making our add-ons, is staying very vanilla friendly. And then there's our first spike. Actually, we'll go like this. And that. And go in by half a block, or, well, cube, whatever size, I don't know. Now that I have a basis made for that thing, add some more spikes, make it more menacing, because what's a dragon without spikes? And then we'll drag this to, which group is this in? It's in neck 4. And we'll do copy paste. We'll add another spike, because I feel like we have a room to add spike, There we go. Now I got pokey bad boy on top. Now what do I want to do here? I don't know do I want these directly, or should I do something silly and go like, and see this. If we do this, it's going to change that. If we change this, it does that. But what if we did negative 45 and negative 45? What are the differences? So we probably want to do like negative 15 and 15. You know, I like it because the stuff that looks ever so slightly off always seems more intimidating. I don't want it to be perfectly straight. I want to add some subtle differences. So negative 10 and 10. Just seems ever so slightly more menacing, you know? At least to me. But that could just be... And then, do I want one in the front, too? I could do a little teeny little guy in the front. It's possible. Could do a little spiky. Like that. Not like that, but hold Alt, and then like that. Alt-Shift. Then, let's center pivot. Move the pivot down to 0. And bing bang boom. Or maybe not at all. And let's see what that looks like shrunken. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. It gives it a little flavor, you know, Lucky Block flavor. Oh yeah, it's a Lucky Block dragon. See, I'm getting carried away. So, being Lucky Block, I want to have a canvas right there to put like a question mark. Maybe some question marks there, some other question marks elsewhere. Let's do selecting the whole thing. This is hide that, hide the neck. So we have this to work with. So these will be just the body bone, and this will be the tail bone. Well, I'll call it tail start, because there's a start to a tail and an end to a tail, to every tail. Sometimes I'll do it numbered, but I think for this one, since the animations, I'm just doing this showing, I'm gonna just label things easiest as possible. May change later at the end product. So if you open it up in like Blockbench when we release it, it might be different, but who knows? I'm not me in 5 months. Adjust all the pivots so I don't forget later, because that's always something that bites me in the butt getting to animations. So put it, just want to make sure it lines up here. It's a bit above, hold shift, cool. And then the body, it really depends on how I build a body. I sometimes I'll have to go further in to know how the inner workings work. But I think for the most part, I'll stick the pivot on the right side. Well, sorry, the left side. That's the opposite of right. That was close. And then that way, it kind of conjoins with the neck, because the neck start will be actually at the same spot. So when I rotate, it all kind of does its thing. And sometimes give this an extra couple blocks, so when you hide it, it looks like that. And you have room to rotate this way. See if I could show that. Boom. See? A little bit of extra skin makes it look like it's extending, which you have to kind of account for while texturing. So the more you do there, the more there is to texture. And let's go like this. Give it some more design on the top, probably. Well, no, we don't want to go too crazy. Now we add the things to make it move. Legs. Legs are important, right? Everybody has them. Well, not everybody, but that's beside the point. Let's add the blocks here. We'll start with... oopsies, I did that wrong. I added the bone. This will be front left. So we do this, add a cube, drags the cube, it's a different color cube this time, to about where I'd want it. So if we're thinking shoulder level, shoulder could be about here. And since it's going to have wings, we kind of want the wings to start about where the leg starts. So let's see if I can add a reference cube for wing left. Now we'll take this down, create a wider-ish start to the arm section, probably. Go out a bit. There you go. This will be the main rotating part. And you want the pivot to be in the center of this, so that way, you know, bones connecting to bones. That's why these are bones. Well, they're groups. Oh yeah, see, look, adds a new group or bone. But yeah, so that's why that is, I guess. It changes. The wing will also be a similar thing. This first one is going to be a bit meatier to start with, and then it needs to be very meaty to start with, because we have to have the muscle that works the operation, you know? Pivot tool, center pivot. And now when we rotate the wing and flappy flap, that's wrong. Ignore that. For some reason I copied the group instead of just the bones. As one does. Okay. Now we need to redo the pivot. Gosh darn it. It's about centered. So when it wing flappies, it goes like this. There we go. Now, let's construct a leg. Now, what type of leg do we do? I'll just kind of go with the leg I have as the... This might be a good time as any to just... Reference image. Pop it in. Add to this project. Add to all projects. Add to this project, just please. Thank you. Now it's in the background. Reference image. We'll put you a bit higher so you can keep there. So yeah, it has about regular human-like armies. So it'll go down like that, but a little bit lax in the arm muscles, like skipping arm day a little bit. And then you got the elbow, the 45-degree angle. And then a quick little snappy thing. You can go vertex snap, choose the top right corner there, hit with this corner, and voila. You got two perfectly aligned thingamabobbers. Go with a forearm. Be a little bit smaller. We'll just bring this a bit into... Alright. Nice. And then the arms... Or hands, I guess. This is the arm. That is correct, indeed. And explaining what it was. Pretty close. So go like this. It'll get a bit wider here. And actually, you probably want to go like that. Because now, this... Probably doing it a bit out of order. This will be the hand. The hand will be... Center the pivot. After I get this in the group. Now we center the pivot. Pivot tool. Want this to be near the top, or well, depending on how the hand will rotate, but I think it's going to hang down. Yeah, we'll go with that, and then we'll add some cubes. Actually, no, we'll go like this. We'll copy, paste, and then rotate. Vertex snap this with this corner. Grab this, press S to go to size, or I mean, whatever, resize. If you see this pop up randomly, I'm hitting S to resize. I just have it all memorized by now. You have V to move, S to resize, R to rotate. So you see this to rotate. You got the pivot tool, which automatically kind of starts whenever I hit center pivot. So I usually don't do that. But yeah, so if you're ever confused, that's kind of what I'm doing. Do that, copy, paste, copy, paste. And there's some basic fingernails. Heck yeah. If we want to get more in depth, we could go like this. And then, actually, before I do that, take this out a bit more. Move the pivot down to the edge. And you will see what I'm doing here in a second. The pivot tool, which actually it's P, but I always just select it because I'm too silly to remember P. 45 degrees. There we go. Long nail finger thing. And just imagine this. We'll probably have this be a finger, but near the bottom we'll color it like a nail, so it makes sense. You can kind of ignore the background there, but yeah. There we go. And then we probably want a thumb, right? So if we want a thumb, go to the inside. There we go. Now some very basic fingernaily thingies, kind of like it has on that reference. And for the back leg, we'll start that now. Actually, here, I'll finish this first. Let's make sure we have all the bones set up. Getting ahead of myself again. So we'll select the forearm, create front left forearm, which actually I should call it elbow because that's technically the bone it is. Usually in correlation to whatever I set the pivot towards or at, which in this case is the elbow. This should be good to go. That's all I needed to add. So let's put the hand inside of front left elbow. Because the way I have it set up, if I move the hand can be moved separately from everything. If I move the elbow and the hand move together. And then if I move the front left leg, the whole conglomerate goes. And if I move the body, a bing, a boom. Yeah, that looks funny. And because the reason for it looking funny is because I didn't put the tail in the body. And there we go. Nice. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. We're good. Although you could just paste it and have another copy, so you'd be good either way. Add a bone, do back, add a bone. It'll do kind of the same thing here. You look at this, it's right at the cusp of where the tail meets the thingy. So what we could do here, actually. Let's see what it looks like when I make the leg here. It'll be a wider back leg because that's where all the power comes from kicking and all that. Is that looking good so far? Kind of sticking to the same design as that. And go like this. Back left leg, good to go. Do the pivot real quick before I forget. Just kind of center mass it for now. And you kind of might want to connect it with the body too, but to each his own. This, being a calf, we definitely want it to stretch out from within. Oops. Change to move. Maybe I'll just, if I can remember, I will start clicking these at the top so we could get a better visual representation than just me going by my nature. There we go. And then we start the downpour of this leg with the shin. I don't know what this is called exactly, but it's some sort of thing that connects to the calf looking thing. I'm not a marine biologist. I'm not even a scientist either, if you believe it. Okay, vertex snap that to the top there, and this is kind of recreating that. And we could get a little fancy with it too. We could do a little fancy dance if you please. More like that. Go out a little bit and create a little spike. Boom. There we go. Actually, I need to shrink this. Go hold Alt and Shift just by 1. Is that too much? Probably. Let's go down. Now, if you want to do this, go to move and go to local, and you can move it by its own little bone thing instead of going. Now these we'll put into a bone and call it the calf, the knee, left back knee. These will be its own bone called the left back. But the reason I do this is because watch, I never really got into explaining this. If you copy this and paste it, so you have this left leg here and where to go? Back left leg. Okay. There's the copied version and went to the very bottom of the list. And as you can see, if you hit the flip X, so it'll change sides to the right side. It just changes to right back knee automatically. Makes it really simple. So you can keep that noted for later, delete it for now, and yeah, we'll go with that. Now we create the foot, because what is a leg without a foot? Didn't have a foot. What's the point of a leg? This will be a weird one. I'm gonna have to center pivot, local, and get 0.5. There we go, and negative 45. Sweet. So we do the same thing basically as that, but on the back foot. And now I think as well, we'd probably want like the inner like velociraptor thingy going on. Well, no, not velociraptor thingy, but this thing. Bring it so that way I can rotate it, make it look coolio. And actually, I might do this for all of them before I forget as well. Let's make him a bit skinnier. But maybe a bit wider at the base. Now, am I doing that right? I feel like I'm missing something here. Is this too high? I'm gonna focus more on the front legs, or front things for now. And go like this. What I might try to do as well is rotate these outwards, which will make that pretty nice. Select these. Go like 15 degrees. And with this one that is straight on, flush with the foot, go like that. And then one more time. There we go. Now it's a bit more angled like a dragon's foot would be. And if we want to get even more fancy with it, we could put these, all the feetsies, inside of their own group, calling it like back left toes. At an impasse, I usually just go with first thing in my mind, and that's what was on my mind. This we'll put into its own group and call it the back left full foot, and have another rotate over here, because the more rotates I have, the more crazy I can go with the animation. So we'll go negative 20, well, yeah, negative 20. That full foot will move a bit higher, so like negative 30. This, we can then go like... There we go, now it's pretty good. The wing now. I like to do T-pose wings as well, since it's like... So we'll go like this, just figure out how long the wingspan we want to be. I don't want to exaggerate it too much. I want to keep it like a bit small. And then that would be one portion of it. I like to do it in three, so I'll have 3 sections. This section, second section, third section. And this will be about the size of that. And then the last section will be a bit smaller, just for like the added flair on the end. Now that these are all set out, I can select all of this, duplicate, so it's all in their own groups, extend a bit, and then shrink it, so that way the wing can be laid out. The idea is, we'll go like this, so you can kind of imagine the layout I'm going to go with. Something like that, so that way it's like... I could add rotations, but this is the basic one. So one thing I could do to make it more interesting and add a little bit of extra stuff, the secret sauce, I could take this. Okay, new plan here. We'll duplicate this, and this will be separate. We'll take these, move these in here, and look good. So you'll see what I'm going for here in a second. Go pivot tool, like that. Kind of cancel that out. Kind of what I was going for, because now it'll still rotate with this flush, but it has like this extra. So we'll take this in return. Actually, you know, screw that. Let's go like this, duplicate, easy peasy, go like that, and just continue like there. And then there we go. We have the fancy wing that's not going to be hopefully too big. Now, if I want to go, let's get rid of the reference image, because I'm hardly looking at it now. I think what I wanted to do initially, it's kind of funny, but let's go copy paste. And then over here, yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with this. We'll see how this goes. We'll just do what I did earlier. Copy this, just Control D, and then I'll hide this, select this, flip it. So now it's front right leg, and then this is front left leg. And now that this is wing left as well, it still does it with so if you put left on the end, it'll still do it. So copy, go like that, wing right. There we go. Being a lucky block dragon, I want to keep it fairly high, maybe textures and stuff, add some spice. So if I want to add some spice, that is definitely an option. So I could go like this. There we go. Woo. So we'll take this too, since we've changed that. And maybe have it lean, so if we want to do like spikes that go that way. Is there anything else animation-wise I can do? Or if you just imagine this is sideways, and then, you know, he's roaring, he's lifting up to roar. But, yeah, as you can see, we'll have to extend this, and then if we hide this, it almost looks like these are going to be connecting. And you can't even see it right now, but if you go to body back and go like this, there, you have a decent range of movement now. Since it's extended. You can do that, the same thing with the tails. I like to do that too. Now, I can begin doing the texturing, probably. Yeah, I caught myself. Put the bottom jaw in the bottom jaw. And then, go like this. And it needs teeth, otherwise it looks like an old grandpa. So, give it some big old chonky chonkers. There, now it's a perfectly straight teeth. Bring that up. Jaw. Ah, I messed up. Let's pivot tool that again, like so. Another question would be, do I want to give it a tongue? Because if you give it a tongue, I can add more coolness to it, but I don't know. That'll be something I'll decide as I go. I could just add a bone for it just in case. Attach it to bottom jaw. Create a new bone. Maybe a little bit wider, so I can make a forked tongue if I wanted to. Alright, now that I have it selected, this is another funny thing that they added. Oh, where is it? Hide everything except selection. So you can see that if I want to get a good position. So, okay, we see that the top to bottom thing is there. Hide it. I want to raise it up by about a half a block. And then go bottom jaw. Boom. Hide the teeth. And the tongue's there. Now we have a tongue. We can do with it what we will. And now let's close the mouth because I know he is probably getting dry in the mouth part. Now the idea from this, if I could get a block as a reference, but outside of the reference blocks. So this block will be right here on the floor, just nonchalant. And then it'll pop out like boo boo, scare you kind of thing. And I will save it. I should call it just Lucky Block Dragon. All one word for now, because I don't know what we're gonna call it exactly until later. Awesome. So that's the Lucky Block Dragon, just the main modeling aspect done, and also getting all the bones and stuff named and disguised and whatever. Also showing references. So that's gonna be 8 blocks across, probably double that. So it'll be like 12 blocks across, which is actually pretty gigantic. It can be relative, but yeah, that's how I kind of do things. It's pretty fun. We'll move on to the texturing next, but first I must take a break. I will reconvene here in a moment.